Anticipate, don't improvise. My process is purely logistical, narrowly focused by design. I'm not here to take sides. It's not my place to formulate any opinion. No one who can afford me needs to waste time winning me to some cause. I serve no god or country. I fly no flag. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a fuck.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. Again, if you just watched my crypto video, I don't want to repeat everything I said there about Powell, but you should know the key boss hole, the head honcho, is speaking on Friday of the Fed. Thursday, they have the meeting. Friday, he speaks. He tends to stick to the script very well because he's reading it, and then he F's up in the Q&A. So we could see the same thing, and his true feelings could come out. What the markets are afraid of here is Powell pushing back against a rate cut in September. If Powell pushes back, you could very easily see that summer top continue in this topping process for a retracement. So we're going to look at the key levels here on the charts, go over the key charts. I added the Russell by your guys' request that's on here, and as well as a couple of meme stocks. Everything's timestamped, by the way, if you guys never noticed, but you can just click the timestamps if there's certain things you want to see as well. I know everybody's busy, but these are the things that I'm watching for before we get the blow off top. And like I said, in the crypto space, there seems to be some people that think we're just going to keep chopping and then grinding up to the all-time high or the blow-off top. And maybe the blow-off top isn't as high as people think it is. And then it's going to just capitulate come September, October. I look at it a little bit differently. I'm looking for some type of retracement. We did get a retracement, but it was not what I was looking for. Here on the Dow, we got 4%. I was looking for 7.5%, right? On the S&P, we got just about 3.5%, 226 points. It was a nice little trade, but it wasn't the 10% decline. It was less than half of what I wanted.
Less than half of what I'd hoped for.
I mean, all of life revolves around Lord of the Rings, right? But that's what I think's going to happen still. And the reason I say that is because, again, the trillions of dollars, an all-time high, sitting in money market funds, knowing that most of these funds missed out on this record-breaking rally, third strongest turnaround rally in stock market history. I just feel like to get to these higher level targets of 7,000, 7,500 on the S&P futures, you have to have the wall of money enter, and they will on a larger retracement. They will be aggressively buying. As a matter of fact, notes from Goldman, notes from JP Morgan said the same thing already. I would aggressively buy on all of the on any type of retracement here at this seasonal time of year. It has to do with the pivot points in the marketplace, guys. That's how this market is being traded, okay? That's how this market has been cycling. So let's look at this on a couple of things. Actually, let's back up and go fear and greed. I mean, you're at 66 on fear and greed. You're in greed. If we did get some type of breakout with Powell, if he's dovish or just tries his best to say nothing, you could see this go to extreme greed, and you can see all the indices do another little soft push higher. We're going to look at the targets and how accurate they have been this year since my predictions in January. We look at the Shiller PE, again, second most expensive market in stock market history. 39 almost on the Shiller PE. We're going to take out this 44 from .com, but I think you retrace first and then you take out the 44. That's what I'm thinking. Let's just look at a couple of charts here. If we do look at the Dow, the key thing that you're looking at here on this chart is quite simply your triple top, right? Top one, top two, you had the triple top, you got the 4% drop, but you're hung up at the same place again. So if this top ends up staying in place and you don't breach it substantially, meaning you hold 45, 165 as support and go up from there, if it ends up staying in place, it's just a larger triple top. In and of itself, actually, which is interesting, it's another triple top, right? As of right now, you have top one, you have top 2, and this would be top 3 again. So you'd have 2 triple tops in that situation, depending how you zoom out. You look at how this is affecting the equal weight. Will the equal weight break out? I mean, it's back at this high from November 2024. For whatever reason, it's not letting me draw. But right here is where you're at, 186. You're at 188 from November 2024. Are you going to retrace and pull back before you launch above, which is still my base case unless I start seeing these things break out? The Dow break its triple top, the equal weight breakout above here as well. If we look at the target predictions, how they've played out, guys, look at the summer rally prediction back from January. Look at the reversal box. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Perfectly in the reversal zone. I think we can push up to that 65.29 area, the very top of that reversal zone. I would like to see us do that, but again, would not surprise me if we start retracing with Powell, okay? I just think we're going to get a retracement. I don't think that 3.5% retracement was enough. I just don't think it was. I think you'll get a retracement. I think you come down to like 58.64 right here at the 382 or slightly below that 5,800 level. And then I think you go up. Archie market top, my AI model, 71.22 is its prediction. 74.42 for my max bull case. I'm just calling it 7,500 for easy math. But you can see the candles. You got a couple of dojis here in a 3-day time frame. We'll see. Can we get a test slightly higher before a retrace? We'll see how this plays out with Powell. I think we're just going to be chopping until Powell. Maybe the day before Powell, you might see some selling before with some apprehension. You look at this on an 8-hour time frame. Again, there's that larger target prediction from that summer market top, 65.29. And look at this. When you take your fib and pull it from July 31st, right, when you made that July top. Now, 3 years in a row, you made that July top and had a retracement. But when you pull your fib there from that July 31st top, look at the 1272 of that fib. Lines up literally on top of it, right? On top of 65.30. So again, this would not surprise me, 8-hour time frame, to see something like this. If you can keep holding this resistance or holding the support level, Powell's dovish or Powell's just not hawkish. He's just kind of meh and the market likes it. You could get a little bit more euphoria and watch for some topping action at that 65.30. But ultimately, I think you're coming down for the retracement, right? I think you'll begin your retracement if Powell is neutral and or if he's hawkish. And if he's dovish, well, then I think you're going up. And then you got to look at this, right? Because the market will front run it. Look at 65.30. If you can flip 65.30, got to look at 6,600. That would be the next level here on the fibs. If you can break above and come up, you got to look at 6,600, which is actually 6,610 there. But this is a very, very confined trading range at the moment. You can throw that support line right there on that fractal high or this fractal high. Look how you're hugging it, right? So again, you're doing a little bit of a soft coil, 8-hour time frame. If we look at this and open it up, you can see your volume delta here. I mean, you're coiling. Money flow is basically neutral, going up and down above the median line. Momentum soft is rolling over some, but you're just chopping. You don't have any big sell-off. You got up to 64.68. You're down, or 60, what did you get up to? You got up to 65.08. And you're down to 64.64 right now. So again, 30, 40 points. You're just in a trading range unless this starts breaking down, okay? Unless it starts breaking down or breaking out. If we look at this from our lunar cycle perspective, again, we have that next lunar cycle change, the black moon, which will be Saturday. I put it here on Friday. You could move this over to Monday. Market doesn't trade Saturday, but that's the next cycle change. Will we get a little breakout to the upside? Will it mark the top and we start retracing with Powell? Okay, that's what I'm looking at here. If we look at the SPY, same thing, guys. Nailed that reversal zone. I had this up to 654. Bottom line was 642. And you got up to what did you get up to here at your high? You got up to 646. So right in here, but you're at the bottom of the range. You could come test the top of the range before you roll over. But until you start breaking down, I mean, you're just going sideways in the reversal zone range. And then ultimately, I would like to see this retrace as well. I would like to see this come down. Got to adjust the fibs to that 583 level, which would be a nice retracement right in line with previous retracements before moving back out to the upside, 700, 750. Those would be my two blow off top targets there on the SPY. Summer rally, nailed that reversal. Let's see if we start reversing or if we come up to test the top of these ranges. If we look at the triple Qs, same thing. 580, 588. Just drew this here differently for some members in the room that wanted to see it a specific way. But looking at the fibs, 580, 588. You got up nicely here at 583. So you're right in that range. You sold off some. You could still come up and test the top of that range, the 1618 at 588 or 597, depending how it moves, until you start to actually see a breakdown, which you don't have right now, right? Even on the Qs, when you look at this is an 8-hour time frame. Whenever you start seeing hooks, you guys hear me say this, I just said it in the crypto video too. When you see a hook down, once it starts finding support, always look for that rebound back up and then look at your resistance levels. In this case, 580, 87, right? Can it take that out, or does it start to top and roll from that level? And that could be the beginning of a breakdown. If you get above it, do you want to look at 588 just above you? If we look at NASDAQ futures, that resistance level is 23,913, which you hit beautifully. You got above it at 23 or 2468. And you're at 23,758. Again, not a big retracement at all, but that's where you are in the cycle. You're waiting for the catalyst. The catalyst is Powell. If Powell is hawkish or the market doesn't like what Powell says, if he gives any inference to they might not be cutting at all, he's not happy with the inflation. Again, don't know what he's going to say, but then you would want to see if price starts to deteriorate and fall down, okay? That's what you want to look at. If you can flip 24K, get above it, we're going to look at some of those higher levels here. 8-hour time frame on the NASDAQ, there's that 23,913. You can see your key level support there at 22,779 that you tested. And of course, if we look at this from another perspective of just how price is acting, you see this like little bear or bull flag that you're forming by this knifing pattern. Watch for some type of rebound back to the upside, right? Might retrace lower, but watch for some type of rebound. But when we just look at these levels, guys, again, we could pull fibs from different patterns here, depending on the time frame you want to look at. 24,136, 24,500. So not knowing what Powell's going to say, if you find support at some level and you do get Bitcoin coming up to 132, the S&P coming up to 65.29, I would definitely be watching 24,150, and above that, I would be watching 24,500 for some type of topping action. Overall, my thesis is the same. I still think we get a retracement, some type of retracement. Typically, it's 10% in the S&P, as you guys know, over the last 2 years. After the July tops, you got that 10% retracement. This year, we still topped in July, got it 3.5%, came right back up for a new all-time high, and now we have the Powell catalyst, and you have all of Wall Street minging and moaning and crying. Well, I don't trust this rally. It's not really what I want to see. I'm telling you, they want that retracement. They'll be buying it when you get it, and then we'll be going up to new levels and prices. So just be aware of it. If we look at the Russell, a lot of you guys want to see the Russell, even without fibs here, you can just look at the chart, see what you're doing here. Came right up to these fractal highs. Look at that. That's where you got rejected. 23,336. It's your candle structure here, right? If you look at the Russell, what it's forming, this trading range right here is your Wyckoff range, right? You got this Wyckoff range, and what are you doing? You're in between resistance on top of the Wyckoff range. The way this plays out is you have your Wyckoff range, you got your false break, you got your spring to the upside. You're trying to form your Livermore pivot. You find resistance, you pull back on top of the range. The next move, if you break out to the upside, which in this case means taking out whatever that high is, 23,338, break out to the upside, I would be looking at the next higher level up, the 2400, 2450 levels. That would be the next two higher levels up. If you do not break this and you do something like this, maybe you get a false break to the upside but then come back down, then you want to watch this trading range, because if you take out 2150, you're coming back. And we can just do this with fibs. Let's just pull this in. Fractals, fibs, market structure. It's all about confluence in the market. If we look at this from a fib perspective, go to your April low there, pull this up. Got to actually add some fibs. We want to look at 382, 50%, 618, 786, right? That's what we're looking at here. 382 is 2100, 2000's 50%. I wouldn't anticipate it being much more than that because I don't expect deep retracements, as you guys know. 50% retracement seems totally reasonable to 2000. Then the next leg up, right? Then the next leg up with the blow-offs coming in. Remember, back in 2021, The Russell and Bitcoin topped within 48 hours of each other. The NASDAQ topped a week or two after both the Russell and Bitcoin. I think you're going to see the same thing, guys. Again, it's just a pattern. It's just a fractal. It's what we did in 2021. We have the 4-year Bitcoin topping cycle, looking for that November top once again. So that's what I'm thinking here on the Russell. It's representative. It's small caps. Okay, it's a lot of beta. We look at Tesla. Tesla had this breakout attempt, as you can see. Breakout attempt, but same thing I just showed you on the Russell. What's the next move? You got to take out that high. If you take out that high of 350, then you need to take out 367. If you can take out 367, 426 and 462 are your targets. However, if we start that retracement, this was a false breakout, and you will do some type of double topping pattern like this, whether it's slightly higher up and disjoint it like a false break, and then break back down. And your key support levels are going to be 275 and 251 in any type of summer retracement. But just like you see a lot of these prices, they're just mid or their top range. Here you're in a coil, a spiral that broke out. You're trying to get momentum to the upside, and you just don't have it yet. You have volume divergence still on Tesla. You need a breakout of volume. Momentum's pretty meh. Nothing is powerful about this move yet, okay? Not yet anyways. Apple, where's Apple fading? Right where we talked about last video, right in this channel of candles here. Went up to 72% at 234. 231, right? That's where you're at now. Again, not a big retracement. So everything is hinging on that market catalyst that we're going to get from Powell. Powell's going to make Apple do something like this and start breaking down, or Powell's going to make a lot of these mag companies do something like this and maybe come up for one more push at a high, right? Which is why you would see the NASDAQ potentially go up and the S&P potentially go up that 6530, 6550 level. You look at NVDA, I mean, who else's fibs played out this precisely? The 1618 at 150 right here, 1618, beautiful retracement. Break back up to the upside, and where are you stuck? Right at the 200% at 183. You're at 181. Again, you zoom in on NVIDIA and you look at the candles. I mean, it's just nobody's selling. Okay, that's the thing. There's not a lot of money flow coming in the market, but nobody's selling either. Look at the candles. I mean, a lot of equilibrium movements here hitting that 183. And of course, NVIDIA's earnings are late, right? They're late. What are they at? August 27th. So NVIDIA's earnings are late. So you're just bobbing your head up and down. The largest company here, largest market cap weighting is NVIDIA, and it's close to its all-time highs within a couple of dollars. Again, which is why you're not seeing any type of major retracements in the marketplace. So tight trading range between 178, 184. You want to break out above that to push higher, and obviously if you start breaking down, you'd be looking at some lower levels. We'll go over that in the next video because I think Powell's going to push this one way or the other. Actually, let's just look at some of this real quick, because I know somebody's going to say, oh man, you didn't cover the retracement levels in the video. I mean, this is a 111%, 112% rise off your April 7th bottom. So again, if you just look at your basic level retracements of 1/3 and 50%, you know, Dow level retracements, you're looking at 150 essentially being support, which again is that previous high right here, and then 135. So if this all starts unwinding, you would see something like this coming down to these levels, basing. People like, oh my God, this is it. This is the big 80% crash I told you guys about. And then guess what it's going to do? It's going to do that, right? It's going to come right back up because I don't think the markets are done at all, guys. And I don't think you're in there for the final top here in August. It's a long predicted retracement time frame for these markets before they make that next major move to the upside. And this is where Wall Street wants to re-enter this trade, okay? We look at some of these other mag companies. Look at Meta. Up close to your all-time high, 66% rally. You're at 765. You got all the way up to 796, almost $800. So just above you, you have 782 and 804. There's your next two levels above you. Watch that for resistance if you do get one more pop. Plenty of gaps to fill on these retracements. Same thing, guys. I would just pull a fib from your April 7th lows or whenever the individual stocks bottom. This was April 21st on Meta. pull it up to your high, look at your 382, 50%. It's my base case. Now, individual stocks will vary, obviously, depending on the rally, but base case for the indices and just a base case in general, rule of thumb, 33% retracement, 50% retracement is what I would be looking at. 638, 675. Not expecting anything major because I think the next big leg is to the upside. Microsoft literally hit the 1618, 551. Look at that. Boom. And now you filled that gap, right? So Microsoft's going to try to hold support. You got 504 just beneath you. You're at 516. See if you do something like that. Like you come up here, you try to hold. You either bounce back up, make a lower high, and start breaking down. Or if you get another little push back to the upside first, depends if the indices want to rally. Still think you're getting that retracement though. Now, the stuff I am interested in, because I like to gamble, is Hood is one of them. Why? Because it's up 300% off of the April 7th low. 300%. So let's just do a little bit of a dive. Maybe I should make a separate video on some of these meme stocks like Hood. But volume is there on the daily time frame. It supported your trend. You had trend confirmation. However, I mean, this is very small at the moment, but you do have volume divergence because you don't have a higher high yet. So actually, it's not divergent. It's just confirming it. But if price does push up, that target I had for the 200% move, we hit the $100 beautifully, got above it. I had 120 basically, 119.84. And you got all the way up to 117.70. So maybe we get the 120, 122, 123. It'd be great if we see a little bit more of a push up, especially if the indices do push up with Powell or in spite of Powell before really giving up the cat, right? Giving it up before they just start retracing. So watching Hood closely, because even at a bare minimum, doing that same methodology, pulling your fib down here from April 7th to your current all-time high, when you look at the measurements, right, you just look at your measurements here, assuming for now this is the all-time high anyway. You start looking at individual stocks are always risky to short because they have their own stories, right? But when you look at this, just to come down to the 382, it's almost 30%, right? Almost a 30% drop. To come down to 50% retracement of this rally, almost 37, 38%. These are big moves when you consider an index level. S&P average returns the last 25 years is basically 8%. So these are big moves in these individual stocks. If it works out, we got some more days to get through here with Powell. Like I said, Powell's going to send this up. Send it down. You'll see it across the asset space. Palantir, same story here. Look at your hook. You got the hook. There's your gap. You got the hook. So this is your hook. You wait for the bounce, right? Might bounce here at 162. You're at 171. But you'll get some type of rebound. This is how you get the M fractal, right? The capitulation. You get some type of rebound. If it's going to be bearish, if it's going to be bullish, you'll do something like the Livermore pivot and take out that high, right? Right now you're selling off some massive valuation on Palantir, 100x their sales, absolutely ridiculous. That has nothing to do with fundamentals. Extended rally of 190% to the upside off your April low. So again, just watch some of these stocks if you're interested in trading them. And that's it. That's a Bitcoin chart. All right, guys, check out the Bitcoin video that's out there separately. Check out SimpleFX. You want to trade these markets? Consider joining us at marketmakers.trade to join our Discord. You can also join straight through YouTube if you wish with the join button. See you guys on the next one.